My name is Tarmack, and this is your Game Industry News Wrap-Up for the week of January 13th, 2018. Nintendo, by way of a mini direct, revealed a few previously enjoyed games which will be getting Switch ports over the next year. Payday 2, Hyrule Warriors, The World Ends With You, and a few others. Of the announcements though, the bulk of the hype went to a Dark Souls 1 remaster, which is getting a Switch version, but which will be releasing on Xbox One, PS4, and PC as well. The remaster supposedly will receive some of the advanced lighting features from the Dark Souls 3 engine, including higher resolution textures on PC at least, and while it won't have any brand new designed assets, a bit of a facelift would be nice. No news on whether Blighttown will actually run okay on the Switch. The Dark Souls neckbeard contingent is of course outraged that the game will be coming to such a casual platform, but Twitch streamers are already salivating over the unique playthrough possibilities to one-up the DK bongo drums by playing Dark Souls mobile while doing parkour and eating laundry soap. Gamers looking to increase the performance of their home PC may have noticed that it's a bit more difficult to get a good video card lately, and if you're looking for someone to blame, look no further than cryptocurrency. There are currently worldwide shortages of both AMD and nVidia graphics cards, which has resulted in a significant price increase to existing inventory as the crypto miners have snapped up most of the available cards on the market. A ridiculous bull run on the crypto market has caused the overwhelming interest in homebrew and industrial mining, and as yet the bubble hasn't burst. When it does though, don't forget that those graphics cards will need somewhere to go, and there may come a day in the not too distant future where you can find a GTX 1070 for just a couple $100 on eBay. Or we can all just wait until summer when Nvidia's Ampere, the rumored next-gen Nvidia cards, will be revealed in full. It does hurt a little to know that so many video cards better than mine are just sitting around not calculating shadows in The Witcher 3, but doing pretend math and heating up the planet instead. Proving that hype and pre-order culture are alive and well, many gamers lost their collective minds when the long-dormant Twitter account for CD Projekt Red's upcoming game Cyberpunk 2077 tweeted out the word beep after 4 years of no tweets of any kind. 48,000 likes, 18,000 retweets, and 4,000 replies later, any hope of folks tempering their expectations for the game was completely lost amid the clamor of the crowd. Now, I'm as much a fan of CD Projekt Red as anyone. They seem to treat their customers better than most developers and publishers, and their games to date, with the notable exception of Gwent, which uses loot boxes for post-launch monetization, have all otherwise been fair. But for the moment, as we have essentially no real information about the game of any kind, this is ultimately just a social experiment in how excited gamers are to hear about that next game. With any luck, the beep tweet is an indication that more information will be coming soon, but you never know. We might just have been cyberpunked instead. Humble, IGN's newly acquired conflict of interest, released a new bundle this week which has a few people scratching their heads. The Humble Hope for Orphans bundle launched with a charity that few, if anyone, had ever heard of, called Change 30. Change 30 appears to be a stateside rebrand of a Russian-run charity bringing Jesus into the lives of Russian orphans through love, guidance, and critical resources, according to the mission statement of the charity, though the Jesus bit was left off of the Humble page for some reason. After a fair bit of research on my part, as the charity did look a little on the shifty side, I was left with the impression that it's just a tiny charity that has been running for years, and while it does look a bit off, it's properly registered with the IRS and has public filings, albeit difficult ones to find. Why Humble feels the need to stretch so far for charity selection, I don't really know, but what really struck me as odd about this bundle is the selection of games. Nothing says hope to orphans in Russia like Killing Floor, Red Orchestra 2, Homefront: The Revolution, Rising Storm 2, and Call to Arms. There are more appropriate games for the theme of being a badass while helping out orphans, IGN. You've done stories on them, for God's sake. The Walking Dead with Clementine, Hitman with Agent 47's Orphanage Safe House, any game with Lara Croft in it. You could stretch the theme a bit by putting Skyrim in, as the Dragonborn can clear out a village, but the damned children will remain like doe-eyed irritants the world has never before seen. Bruce Wayne with countless Batman titles. I don't know. I suppose that Jesus moves in mysterious ways. At CES, in between power outages, HTC announced the Vive Pro, a refresh of sorts for the VR manufacturer. The Pro will feature two 1440x800 displays, a new head strap with integrated headphones, a second front-facing camera to improve functionality for developers, and a shiny blue veneer which just smells of quality, or something. No release window for the Vive Pro was announced. In addition to the Vive Pro, they also revealed the new Vive wireless adapter, which essentially does what you would expect and has a Q3 2018 release. They didn't comment on price at all, but when it's the big dog name brand with a tendency to market its product as the premium one, it's best not to expect it to be cheap. And unfortunately, the Vive refresh comes with updated wands, not Valve's new knuckle controllers, to show you the way. And our feel-good game story of the week. The Overwatch League gamble seems to have had a pretty good start on Wednesday with the opening day launch at Blizzard's 450-seat Broom Closet Arena in Los Angeles. Combining the English, French, and Korean language broadcasts, the concurrent viewership had its peak at a bit over 400,000 viewers, which must have the folks at Blizzard a little relieved because to date, the Overwatch League has felt a little forced to many gamers. That viewpoint may have been a bit premature. The new UI and forcing player team colors instead of allowing the gamut of bizarre skins in the game made the action much easier to follow, so long as the commentators stuck to slower moving characters and avoided faster characters like Tracer or Genji. I never had much confidence that the Overwatch League would be successful, but that's not the same thing as me hoping for it to fail. As far as I'm concerned, I'd like to see all esports do well, even if it means the commentators need to slow the pace of the game down to the speed of watching painted grass dry, similar to traditional sports like lawn bowling, curling, or baseball. Your game releases for the week of January 14th to 20th are as follows. On January 16th, we'll see the release of Innerspace, which is a self-described exploration flying game where you're exploring inside-out planets with no horizons. While it may have a bit of a No Man's Sky vibe, it lacks the infinite BS bit, and looks pretty nifty. You get a plane of sorts, which can transform into a submarine and even venture inside the maw of an ancient demigod. So that sounds like a fun time with chips, dip, and some cider. Innerspace releases on January 16th for Windows, Linux, PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. And after almost 2 years, Street Fighter V is essentially a complete product now. Street Fighter V Arcade Edition releases on January 18th, with all of the features expected in the initial release of the game back in February 2016. It's a free update to all those who gave Capcom their money early, and comes priced at $39.99 US for the rest of us, including the DLC fighters, arcade mode, and several new modes as well. So good for Capcom for bringing Street Fighter V out of early access. This has been your Game Industry News Wrap-Up for the week of January 13th, 2018. I've been contending with a bout of writer's block over the past few weeks, which may explain somewhat the lack of content. I'll do a channel update vlog on that soon enough, so as to not bore you here. My name is Tarmack. Thanks for watching.